Genius Invocation, we know it, and so far it looks like most of us love it. But how good is it in my personal opinion? What is going on, my dudes? Mtashed here, back again with another Genshin Impact video, and today we are going to be talking about Genius Invocation, what I like about it, what I hate about it, and of course, my overall ranking of it, because I think that, you know, there's a lot to cover when it comes to Genius Invocation, and if updates go really well, we might see a lot better improvements along the way. That's really the best way I could put it, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, as you guys can see here, we do have my Ganyu pulled up here. I do have the actual what is it, what's it called? There we go, the dynamic skin on her, and I've been playing since really day one when it first came out. I actually did a stream and I was in it for about 9 hours, I think. So I kind of have a decent feel of this game mode, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. I have every single character card except for 3, which is, or actually I think a couple of the opponent ones too, but I have all but, I think it's Chongyun, Noelle, and Sino, which Sino you get at level 7. So I'm not level 7 yet. I don't think anybody is, for that matter. I could be wrong. But yeah, there's a bunch of character cards in this, and as you can see, the roster is pretty stacked for the most part. There are going to be more. I've seen a few leaks for next update, and there's going to be 2 additions, which is really cool. I can't wait to see how they do in the general scheme of the card game. But yeah, there's a bunch of characters to choose from. You get to choose 3. This deck right here is basically a freeze deck that I'm kind of using with Ganyu, Xingqiu, and Sucrose. Usually what I do is I put Xingqiu out there first, build up his skill, get the burst off, and then switch to Ganyu, and then basically go to town from there. By that time, I'm usually set up to where I get the 2 extra elemental dice that are going to be the typing that I want, you know, so on and so forth. So, and then Sucrose is there just to kind of help with Swirl, just in case. Let's say my Ganyu goes, at least with Swirl, I have no problems. So, now, as you can see, I have a majority of the cards as well. I am missing a few, but this is kind of my deck that I go with. I have one of those, and then mainly it's just these cards. And honestly, a lot of these support card locations are pretty broken. Like this one, Knights of Favonius Library, you get to reroll again every turn. So instead of doing 2 rerolls, you get 3. There's also this, where is it? Jade Chamber, which is my favorite, which is 2 of the starting elemental dice you roll are always guaranteed to match the elemental typing of your character. And that's just, you know, cryo to cryo. That doesn't include any Omni dice, which is pretty powerful in my personal opinion. But there are a lot of other cards that are really kind of just good in general. Obviously the Pot of Greed of Genshin or Genius Invocation, which is Strategize, which this card, if you don't run 2, you should. And then honestly, another one that I find pretty overpowered is the Paimon card, which for 2 turns, I believe it is, if I remember correctly, it's either 2 or 3. You get 2 extra dice on top of your roll. So you, instead of starting with 8, you get 10 for those turns. And honestly, a lot of people don't understand that that is pretty big. Yes, you are using 3 dice to get this going, but when you're just setting up your first turn, this is a great first turn card, and it works so well. Again, this deck is mainly built around getting my Omni dice as quickly as possible so I could start attacking. So then that way Xingqiu can get his skills up, activate his burst, switch to Ganyu, and then if I get this Jade Chamber out, or I'm using any of these dice ones, including this one, the Bestest Travel Companion, this is to get everything ready for Ganyu's charge shot, or this one, the Undivided Heart. Which this works really well with Ganyu in general. So that's the only one I really work towards with Ganyu. But there's a bunch of other cards in here, obviously we got the Skyward Harp, which gives us +1 to damage. And then it's this one right here. When a character uses a skill or equips a talent, spend 1 less cryo die. 2 of the starting elemental dice you roll are always guaranteed to be cryo dice. So this in tandem with the Jade Chamber, you're always, well, not always, you're just about, well actually no, you're always guaranteed to do a charge shot, because again, you only use like 4 cryo dice instead of 5, which you're going to need for, you know, either Undivided Heart or the actual charge shot. So this is kind of the deck I like rolling with. Now, bear in mind, it's not the perfect deck, but I'm still experimenting with a bunch of stuff. Like, I have this Beneficial Ayaka deck, which is alright. I was only using it for companionship, but, you know, units like Bennett, phenomenal. It's so crazy how good Bennett can be in and out of Genius Invocation, so... but yeah, so far the game has been pretty fun. There's different things, like obviously there's all the different duels you could have with all different characters, including, you know, as you see right here, there's Zhangling over here. And yeah, you could honestly, like, to get these character cards, you can invite them. Like I said, I'm only missing these two, which is Chongyun and Noelle, but I've invited every one of these guys or girls and beaten them. And honestly, like, again, it's just overall fun. I'm really enjoying this. I know that some bigger content creators are not entirely happy with how it's going, but honestly, I think it's really, really good. Now, when you're playing, you get to up your player level and you get rewards based on that level. As you can see here, I'm at rank 6. I think I'm at the max rank that you could be at right now. And then once you get to 7, you get the Sumeru. Cutie. You get the Sumeru table, and then you get the Dendro background, and then at ranks 9 and 10, you get a gold card, which gets you the dynamic backgrounds for these characters. If you decide not to get certain characters with that gold card, don't fret, you could actually get the dynamic skins through the shop here, and that includes also your equipment cards, support cards, and event cards. As you see, I've got a couple of them already, and that's mainly for my deck. And I haven't gotten these ones yet, but that's whatever. But honestly, the biggest thing I think is that's going to be like kind of the main draw is getting these dynamic skins for the cards, because these are really, really cool. As I just showed you with the Ganyu is really, really nice. I also have the Xingqiu one, because again, I wanted my deck. So the next one I'm probably going to end up getting is the Sucrose one, just because it's adorable. But there are plenty of them, like even these like boss characters or just regular characters in general. Like obviously we got the Cryo Mommy type character with you know, the Moon Maiden or Mirror Maiden, however you want to say it. She always drives me nuts. But yeah, speaking of, oh wait, there's another thing too. You could actually get card backs for your deck to make it to where you have a little bit of customization, or you could also get these match invitation letters, which I've bought in every single one, so I'm completely out. And you could also purchase cards here, which the cards are pretty cheap, as you can see. But you have to gain these medals from dueling, and honestly, you only get them through NPCs. You don't get them through player battles, so don't fret. You don't need to do player battles to actually get the cards that you want. Now, what's also really, really cool is that you have tavern card challenges, as you see here, and these ones are just basically extra tests that you could do to get extra rewards. And you know, these are kind of hard. I think the hardest ones have been this Oceanid one. This Oceanid one was kind of a pain in the ass, and Mirror Maiden, just to get the challenges done. So, but yeah, I haven't tried any of these because these ones come at the next 2 ranks, and obviously Magu Genki is going to be the next one I fight. But overall, I think that the biggest concern that people have is the longevity of the game and what they're going to add, because so far as it stands, they're only going to add, from what I saw in the leaks, and I'm not going to leak who it is just so that way I don't get in trouble, they're only going to be adding more character cards. And if it's only going to be character cards, that might be a slight issue. And the only reason why I say that is because, again, you want to be able to keep your card game, like, going, and the best way to kind of do that is to constantly add different types of cards. That's why card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon have been so popular and constant. Like, we haven't had really any new card games that have surpassed that popularity because they're ever changing. If you only introduce one type of card or new cards of a certain type, then you're not going to get that longevity. But if you do it all across the board, like locations, talents, skills, then yes, you're going to see longevity in your card game. Again, that's just one of the gripes that I think I have, but a lot of people think that it's not going to last just because, again, it's not really endgame. And I have to disagree. I think that Genius Invocation, since it plays a somewhat big part in Genshin Impact as a whole, I think ultimately it's going to last. Is it going to be the best thing that comes to Genshin Impact? Absolutely not. Is it going to be something that stays for a long, long time? Absolutely. And overall, the game's fun. I've had nothing but fun with this. I haven't really had any times where I've gotten super mad at the game outside of the tavern challenges. And even the tavern challenges, yeah, I get a little bit upset about losing the tavern challenge. But at the end of the day, you know, it's you trying to beat something to get extra stuff. And honestly, it just makes you that much of a better player if you do it. And yeah, I like a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I like Genius Invocation, and I give it a solid 9 out of 10. I've had nothing but enjoyment from this mode, and yeah, I think it's really, really fun in general. So, but yeah, definitely want to hear your guys' comments on this for sure. Now, as I said before, I would like to hear you guys' comments on this because, again, this would be a lot of fun to know what my audience thinks. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this mode. Do you guys like the content? Again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Guys, we will be back again with another Genshin Impact video tomorrow, and as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care and be safe.